Hey everyone, how are you all doing? Today I'm going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends 85th Anniversary Iron Fist and Luke Cage 2-pack. I am so unbelievably excited about this 2-pack. This 85th Anniversary line is probably the only line where I've gotten everything so far. The only thing that I did not actively pre-order, well, other than the Venom that hasn't gone up just yet, is the Odin. That one looks great. Don't get me wrong, it's just not something that I personally need for my shelf, especially since we don't have a good comic Loki, in my opinion. But other than that, I have pre-ordered everything. Like, this whole 85th line is so awesome, and I've only taken a look so far at the Astonishing Wolverine, and then I've opened up these guys, and these guys, I'm going to spoil it for you right now, are just, oh man, they're perfect. They're perfect. To a degree. Obviously, you know, there's some things. But, like, God, the things that I do have gripe-wise are just tiny little nitpicks. They're not actual full gripes. So, without further ado, let's get into this 2-pack and take a look at what they come with. So, starting off with Luke, he has this pair of fists that's, you know, with his brass knuckles that say Luke Cage on them, which look so nice. They're beautifully done, beautifully sculpted. I love how these turned out. These look so good. And then he also has, right out of the box, this stoic head, this more serious head. I really like how this looks. It does have a little bit of an animated feel to it. Does that make sense? Like, I feel like it just doesn't look as realistic as some of the other ones. The face printing tech on it is beautiful, but I feel like the eyes just, they almost invoke, like, the older Hasbro stuff. But I think maybe because they gave him a little bit too much white of the eyes underneath his actual pupils and that. I don't know. It looks great, though. It does. It looks great. Luke also comes with a grip hand and then a full grip hand, like a C grip hand, which this one has an up and down hand, which is really nice. But the only gripe that I have with Luke, other than his eyes, which is just a little bit, is the fact that he doesn't have two of these hands. I wish that he would have had two of the kind of like claw grip hands. That would have been really cool. And then last but not least, he has this beautiful screaming head sculpt. It looks great. You can see how they ported there's a hair stuck in it. You can see how they ported the mouth onto here to make it look really nice and all that stuff. But I feel like this head sculpt, the eyes look better on this. They look smaller. They look more lifelike. And I don't know. I feel like it doesn't, this looks a lot more realistic to me than the standard head. I don't know why, because, like, even from a distance right here, do you guys see what I mean? It looks like there's too much going on of his eyes. I don't know. And then taking a look at Danny, he has a pair of fists, a pair of clawing kind of grip hands, a pair of karate chop hands, a pair of what people have called the kung fu hands, and these are actually not well detailed. I'm just gonna say that right now. I feel like these might be old hands or something like that they tried to use, but they just do not have very much detail going on for them. A pair of flame effects that just slip right onto the sleeves to give him the Iron Fist look. A beautiful standard stoic head, which the printing on this, the paintwork on it just looks so great. You can see a little bit of the blonde hair sticking out of the back as well. He's got the, the tassels coming out the back of it as well, which look great. A little bit windswept, but not too much. And thankfully, both the sash and his headband one, they thankfully are not two different directions. And then to match Luke, he also has a angry head, which looks really good as well. The same thing applies as Luke. They pegged the mouthpiece into the back of the head, which looks really good. And the tassels look great. The head's, rightfully angry, and it looks great. And now taking a look at the detail of these guys. We're going to take a look at Danny first because he's entirely reuse of the Renew Your Vows body, other than the new pieces of... Well, his torso actually is new because the yellow parts are actually pegged in... Oh, wait, I lied. The yellow parts are pegged in on the upper torso, but not the lower torso, I think. It's what it looks like anyway. So, yeah, his, collar, whatever you want to call this thing, just looks great, and it's pegged into the torso. His head's new. Sash might be new, but other than that, same exact, figure we've seen countless times with the Renew Your Vows body, and looks great. The green is very well done. He's got the, the tattoo on his chest. He's got the little shoes, the little slippers going on down here, which it focused, and then I unfocused it. There we go. These look great. And the The skin tones also match up well for the areas, because none of this is sculpted in its skin tone other than the head sculpts. And I feel like they nailed the tone, which is really hard for companies to do a lot of the time. So I'm glad they were able to nail that with Danny, because he really needed it. He has a lot of skin showing. And now taking a look at Luke, he is, as far as I can tell, 100% brand new sculpt, which is so awesome and so deserved, because I have been wanting a Luke Cage, a good Luke Cage, for so long, and I never picked any of them up because I just didn't think any of them cut it. You know, I got the MCU one, and I ended up getting that classic one, which in retrospect is so bad, and I was blinded by nostalgia of wanting that figure, I guess. But this is my Luke Cage. This is what I wanted, and I could not be happier. I love it. The pinless arms, which look great. I wish they would have put these to use for Cable as well from the from the Zabu Build-A-Figure wave. He's got the t-shirt sculpt going on here. It looks absolutely great. The collar is really big on him. He's got the cage here on the belt, which I didn't even realize until I hit record on this video, which is really cool. He's got the, the denim look to his jeans. He's got the boots down here, which look really good. The treads. The boots could be reused from somebody, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm pretty sure that this figure in his entirety is brand new, which is so, so cool. And I love that. And the same thing like I had said with Danny earlier, I'm pretty sure, well, actually, his neck is, I think, a separate piece that's pegged in to the upper torso. It might be. But they nailed the skin tone color, getting that to match between the rest of him. So I'm really glad about that. The real only gripe that I have with this Luke is that I feel like his eyes are just a little bit too big. But I don't know. Maybe that kind of lends to Luke's softer side. You know what I mean? He looks like he's big and badass, but then he brings out his soft, kind eyes whenever he needs to run for mayor or be with his wife and kids, which, speaking of, we need a new Jessica. So Hasbro, can you get on giving us a Jessica? But God, these two they just sing. They just sing together and they complement each other so well, just like they do in the comics. And I'm only going to go over the articulation of Luke because Danny, like I said, he's the Renew Your Vows body. We've seen him countless times. But as for Luke, he has a dumbbell joint at the top of his neck, so he can only go up that far. He can go down that far. He's got some tilt, a little bit. Rotation. His shoulders go out that far, which looks great. He has butterfly joints, which can go that far forward and that far back. He can rotate all the way around at his shoulder. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that go up all the way. All of his hands, except for that one grip, go back and forth and in and out instead of, up and down. His torso can go that far forward, which is amazing. That far back. He has a waist swivel. His legs go out almost all the way, which is amazing. Can go that far forward and that far back, so you can definitely get him kicking somebody. He has a thigh swivel. Double jointed knees that go back that far. He has a ankle rotation, which is awesome. And then his feet can go back that far, up that far, and of course, ankle pivot. It unfortunately does kind of run into the jeans, the bottom of the jeans, just a little bit. But hey, at least we have some sort of swivel. Looking at you, Astonishing Wolverine. And now taking a look at some size comparisons. Here they are next to some fellow Defenders / Street Heroes. And these look great. They're all on the Renew Your Vows body. So, they all are pretty much the same height, which I don't mind now more so, I guess, that Matt is on this body, because there have been times where Danny puts on the Daredevil costume so Matt can go out and be public and, not give away his secret identity. So, and I think Iron Fist has done that for Peter too. Maybe? I'm not 100% sure on that. But, so yeah, them all being the same build. Okay, fine. I still think Matt should be a little bit bigger, but it's doable. It's passable. And then here they are next to some fellow Avengers in She-Hulk and then the Astonishing Wolverine from the 85th anniversary as well. And I love this. I did not mean to do biggest to smallest here, but I love how they look. They all look so good together. I really like how this looks. And I really want a modern gen for my modern shelf, because my modern Marvel Comics shelf has filled out significantly within the last couple months. So that's really cool, because that's what I grew up on, was the early 2000s stuff. And in the early 2000s, this is what they looked like to me. I mean, Danny obviously looked a little bit different, but I also grew up with the, which actually it was a factory error version where he had the angry head, but it was the green suit that I had of the Toy Biz Danny. But, so yeah, you know, my childhood. This is, the 4 of them right here is my childhood. I love this. This is so awesome. But overall, oh man, I love this 2-pack. I may heat up Luke's arm and trim down his peg just a little bit because it is a little stiff for me. And maybe I might come back in and try and like remove a little bit of that paint underneath his eyes just so the whites of his eyes are a little bit smaller to give it more of a realistic look as opposed to a kind of an animated look. But who knows? We'll see. God, as is, though, this pack is so good. I loved the Wolverine, and obviously, like I said, you know, the biggest gripe that I had with that figure was the boot swivel. But, damn, dude, the 85th anniversary and just Hasbro this year, you guys are always killing it, but, and I think I said this last year, too, you guys just keep one-upping yourselves. Like, this is, God, this 2-pack is just gorgeous. This is something that we have wanted for so long, and in my opinion, doesn't disappoint at all. So, yeah, that's going to do it for me. And I will catch you all in the next one. See ya.